What's up everybody, this is Mike from Mike's Reef Tank. Today we're continuing our journey with beginner corals. This video will be about LPS corals, my top 5, and here we go. Alright, at number 5 we have Euphyllia. These corals have long fleshy polyps, stony skeletons. You can see in my example, this is the one I have in my tank. This is a frog spawn. Euphyllia's main food source is lighting, but they definitely benefit from supplemental feeding. You can do some target feeding with these guys and watch the polyps collect the food and bring it to the mouth. They do well in moderate and low lighting, but can tolerate high lighting if you gradually acclimate them. For water movement, they prefer strong indirect flow, so make sure that your power head isn't blowing straight onto these corals. And for placement, just make sure there's ample space so that they can grow and without stinging their neighbors. Those tentacles can attack other corals if they're put too close to these guys. For water parameters, they like temperature between 75 and 80. Alkalinity, they want you to maintain between 8 and 10 DKH. Calcium, you want to be between 400 and 450 parts per million. Magnesium, 1260 to 1350. And your typical reef numbers for nitrates and phosphates. Now with Euphyllia, there are tons of different kinds. You have the frog spawn like I have in this video. There's also hammer corals, which I'll throw up a picture of those. Pretty cool. They can grow in branching or plate. And then you got your torches. Torches are going to have your longest extension out of these three. They can be the most pricey out of the ones, especially the TSA Holy Grail. And this one pictured is the Hellfire Torch. There's some other strands called like Octospawn, which is similar to frog spawn. I believe also grape coral will come under this class of corals. Euphyllia. At number 4 on our countdown, we have Favia. Favia is a brain-style coral, grows in colonies. Here you got I believe the dragon soul Favia. So basically they grow into a colony with these polyps. These polyps do have sweeper tentacles to catch their food and can sting other corals. For their food source, their main food source is light and nutrients in your water column, but they do beneficial for supplement feeding. And when you do that supplement feeding, you'll definitely see those little feelers come out like in this picture. They do well in moderate to bright light, PAR 100 to 200 recommended. They prefer moderate flow. And like I said before, they do have sweeper tentacles that can sting other neighbors. You want to make sure you provide the ample amount of space for these guys to grow without having any kind of coral warfare on your hands. For water parameters, they enjoy 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They maintain alkalinity within 8 and 9.5 DKH. They like their calcium between 420 and 440. Calcium 1260 to 1350, and for nitrates and phosphates, usual typical for your reef tank. Favias come in very many different colors and shapes and sizes. Great additions to your reef aquarium. Pretty easy to take care of. At number 3, I have acans. Here's a great picture of a bunch of different kind of colors for acans. So you can see they got these really large fleshy polyps. They also have little sweeper tentacles that they use to catch food. Main food source is light and nutrients in your water column, the same as Favia. They also benefit from supplemental target feeding. If you get like some mysis shrimp or anything about that, like a good size, if you put it near the polyp, you can see those sweeper tentacles come out and grab it and pull it into the mouth. Pretty cool behavior that you can see. They can do very well in low lighting, PAR 30 to 50 recommended, so you want to keep these guys low in your aquarium, near the base, near your sand bed, or if you have a clear bottom tank, down straight on the glass. They prefer a low and moderate flow, and you have to make sure, as well as these other guys, and mostly the same kind of repetition with LPS corals, is that they have plenty of space because they got those sweeper tentacles. They will defend their territory, so you want to make sure that they have plenty of space between their neighbors. For water parameters, they like the temperature between 75 and 80. Alkalinity, they wanted to maintain with around a 0.5 leniency. Calcium between 400 and 450 parts per million. Magnesium 1260 to 350. And for nitrates and phosphates, your usual. That seems like most. LPS is like that 1 to 10 parts per million nitrate and 0.01 to 0.05 parts per million phosphate. These guys also grow into colonies. You see in the pictures. Pretty cool coral. I've had them in the past. I was a new reef keeper at the time. I did not do my water changes like I should, and I didn't have very good success with them, but I'm definitely thinking about adding them to this new aquarium. At number 2, we got candy canes and trumpets. These corals grow little stalks with single polyps. They can grow off multiple branches and become a colony. Their main food source is lighting and nutrients in the water column. They also will benefit from target feeding. They like their light levels around 150 to 250 par. Water parameters, they prefer moderate flow. And you want to avoid placing these in high flow areas and provide adequate space for growth. These guys don't come in very many colors. You got the one that's pictured here. And we got our kryptonite green. They enjoy water at 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Their alkalinity between 8 and 9.5. Calcium 420 to 440. Magnesium 1260 to 1350. And our typical nitrate and phosphate levels. This is also a really good one for beginners. If you want to get into LPS, this is probably one of the first ones you want to get, other than our number 1 on the countdown. People have a lot of success with these growing into colonies. You could just start with 1 head, and it's not too bad price-wise. And for number 1, we have Duncan corals, or also known as whisker corals. These guys get their main food source from lighting, but also benefit from target feeding, like most LPS corals. They like low lighting, between 100 and 150 par. They prefer moderate flow, and they like to be placed at the bottom of the aquarium to provide for adequate space of growth. These guys usually branch off, growing a skeleton with these single polyps on each head. Great beginner coral. A lot of people call these the canary of reef corals. If you don't know the phrase, basically, in the coal mines, people would take canaries down there, and the canaries would be able to tell them if there's any kind of pollutions in the air to be able to make those coal miners get out of there. Same thing with this guy. This coral can be a good first defense for any kind of water parameter changes, because once it draws its head back in to the skeleton, there's something up, and you need to do your testing to see what's going on with your aquarium. Definitely a good one for beginners. Thinking about getting one for my tank. Not many colors to choose from. They're usually blue or green. Water parameters for Duncans, temperature 75 to 78, alkalinity between 8 and 9.5, calcium 400 to 450, magnesium 1260 to 1350, and normal reef parameters for nitrates and phosphates. Alright, so through this countdown we've seen some patterns. LPS corals definitely like some flow because they got those big polyps. They enjoy target feeding, like to eat their fleshy foods. And they're all pretty simple. Just a little bit harder than softies, but not too hard. It's a great second genre of coral to get into, or different class of coral to get into. But definitely a good eye-catcher coral because of all the different colorations and the flow that they have. Alright, well that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. The next video in this series will be about SPS corals for beginners. I'll start working on that very shortly so I can get that to you guys, and I'll create a playlist containing all 3 of these videos so any beginners into this hobby can take a look and have some good ideas for what they want to put in their tank. As always, please like and subscribe. It really helps to support this channel. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys and answer anything. And if you guys have any suggestions for my next series of videos, let me know. Alright, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.